Today, we are going to build one of our Pegleg skimmer kits. In addition to everything that comes in the kit, you will need a bit of Teflon tape, some packaging tape, and a pair of scissors. First, let's glue up the cone. We use ordinary packaging tape with a little bit of lint to hold the cone together for glue up. The lint makes it very easy to remove the tape once the glue is dry. Attach the tape as shown here, making sure the top and the bottom are flat. Now glue the inner seam. After 6 to 8 hours, you can remove the tape and glue the outer seam. Let's put together the collection cup. There are two similarly sized acrylic tubes in the kit. Make sure to use the right one for the cup. Wrap the drain fitting with Teflon tape. Press the neck through the cut bottom and use the 3 glue jigs to align these two parts to the correct height. After 20 to 30 minutes, you can glue the collection cup on. Let's move to the neck assembly. Pay close attention to these parts so all the components go together in the proper orientation. The bottom of the neck has a groove that needs to face down. The next two parts have pockets that face each other that form the space for the O-ring. Glue the first one of these with the groove facing up. The other gets glued in with the groove facing down. Clamp it all together. We're going to wipe away any drips that might be on the inside of the O-ring flange. Insert the O-ring. You press the O-ring against the side firmly before the glue dries. This ensures a nice smooth fitting collection cup union when finished. This assembly needs about 2 hours to dry. Now we can put together the lid. All our skimmers now come with a swabby ready lid. This makes it a cinch to add or remove a swabby at any time. For this video though, we're going to cap the swabby mounts with 3 screws and a domed rubber plug. Add a bead of glue to the groove in the lid, and glue in the lid ring. Let's glue our bubble chamber together. First, glue down the small acrylic riser to the bubble diffuser. Let dry for about 15 minutes. Flip over and glue the larger acrylic riser to the other side. While that is drying, we can remove the screws and nuts from the neck. We will need these for the next step. Insert the small rubber plug and then screw in the pump. The intake of the pump should face the larger hole at the base. Now screw on the peg legs. We are now going to assemble the valve gears. The small plastic washer goes under the large gear. Screw this through the threaded hole closest to the pointer. Then add 2 nuts. Don't over-tighten at this stage. Using the wrenching flats of the cup gluing jigs, we are going to hold the top nut in place and turn the bottom nut counterclockwise a quarter turn so the nuts jam together. You want this gear to move freely, so make any adjustments to this now. Now, thread one of the thumb screws into the small gear. Mesh to the other gear and add a nut. Screw on the handle rod. Now hold the rod and jam the nut by turning it counterclockwise. Everything should turn freely at this stage. The last thumb screw gets threaded to the handle. This goes on top of the rod. And finally, hold the rod and screw in the handle. The engraved handle is acting as a similar jam nut to the rod, just like in the other steps. So this needs to be tightened down pretty firmly. Let's look at how the valve assembly works. When the pointer is at 15, the valve is all the way open. 3 complete turns of the handle bring us to number 1, which is the highest water level inside the skimmer. The way this valve works makes it trivial to know the exact opening diameter of the valve. This makes 100% valve positioning accuracy an easy task. Now we can glue in the bubble chamber. Let's glue the cone to the groove in the bottom of the neck. You may need to sand a glue drop or two at the seam here. Once it fits together nicely, go ahead and glue it up. We can also start on the silencer. Glue the tube to the silencer bottom. Let dry for about 15 minutes. Then line up the holes so they are approximately 180 degrees from each other. Insert the silencer stem with the angled cut facing down. There is a groove in the bottom of this to help alignment here. Once it is looking good, glue the tube and the stem. After 2 hours, you can flip the cone over and glue it to the base. Align the silencer over the valve. And glue the cone into the base. We're going to add the top silencer stem with the angled side facing down and glue into place. Everything has been glued together now, so let all your joints cure overnight. For final assembly, we're going to add some O-ring grease to the neck. And then you can put on your collection cap. Cut 2 inches of the soft tubing and use this to add the plug to the cup drain. I like to add a tiny bit of grease to all the barb fittings here so they come apart easier in the future. Add the air line to the pump and trim it to fit to the silencer. Now we can add our stickers. Add the lid, and your project is complete. We hope you found this video helpful in assembling your skimmer kit. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line.